Alright, today I got a pretty collectible preban 556 FNC by FN Herstal in Belgium. This one's a preban, like I said. It's one of the more collectible preban guns. It's pretty well known in a couple movies like Heat. That's probably the most well known appearance in Hollywood. That one has a shorter barrel. I prefer longer length barrels on pretty much all my guns, so this is the one I got. Folding stock. They do sell a fixed stock version as well. A lot of the features, I would say the core operation of this one, it's another AK inspired gun, except that most of the controls are more AR inspired. And this one is not a direct, there's no direct relationship to the Beretta AR-70 or the SIG SG550. This one is a separate project, standalone project from FN. FNC, this one, SG550 and AR-70, they do share a lot of commonalities in terms of controls and design principle, core principle, long stroke, and two-lug bolt, and but this one, it's just kind of, I don't think they reference I don't think they talk to SIG or Beretta on this, but I think it's pretty interesting. The FNC, at least to me, and AR-70 and SIG 550, they all have similar appearance and controls and operation, so I thought it's pretty interesting. Why did I get this? I collect Cold War stuff. FNC is definitely one of these that's just, it's mandatory for you to get if you want a Cold War 556 collection. There should be around 6,000 or so of these around, maybe 7,000, but it's not well-known number. It's just a number I found online. That's the most commonly repeated number. So around 6,000, maybe 7,000. So it's not super uncommon. It's not as rare as the Beretta AR-70 and the preban SG550s are really rare. But more recent import of the SG550, they're coming in, and the PE90, they're coming in. But this one, they stopped. FN did stop production, so what you see, whatever is available in the US at least, that's it pretty much. And one of the issue I kind of have with the FNC is spare parts. These are really tricky to get spares for. If you break something, it's going to be really difficult, or if you do find one, you will be paying a lot of money for it. Fortunately, if you have a connection then yeah, it's not too bad. I'm glad I got in touch with someone selling spare parts, so I am more not as worried about shooting my own FNC. Load it up. Let's take some shots. Okay, there is no last round bolt hole open on the FNC. I wish, I do prefer last round bolt hole open. Let's put a mag in this. It does take AR-15 mag, as you probably already know. There's no last round bolt hole open. I would prefer it to have it. The Swedish AK5, a variant of the FNC, that one, the updated version of that AK5, they do have that in Sweden. I think it's just because FN wants to, if you put it, they want to cheap out on production maybe. It is more costly to have a design that have last round bolt hole open. And I kind of want to mention this real quick about the manufacturing. You might be able to see the lower is just a really simple aluminum block, and you might be able to tell there's a lot of machining marks on this. I hope you can see that. A lot of machining marks on both sides. And you can probably tell there's a lot of ugly, really ugly welds on the upper. The upper is stamped steel receiver and aluminum lower. And it does have AR-like disassembly. There's a rear pin here. Just push through this pivots and you take everything out. So the manufacturing, it's kind of crude. It's effective, but crude. You might be surprised by if you can get an opportunity to see one in person, you'll be wondering to yourself, why would this cost $4,000, $5,000, or even more? Mostly because it's common, uncommon, and it's collectible. People want things in movies and whatnot. Something on the FNC I forgot to mention is the dust cover. You might be able to see this. It's a metal plate with wire springs keeping it down. So as you charge the weapon, charge the rifle, and with the reciprocating charging handle, it will move the dust cover out of the way. And as it goes home, to chamber the next round, it would come down. This is kind of clever. You can find the pretty much exact same design on newer guns such as the Galil Ace, IMI or IWI Galil Ace. Very clever design. And the longevity of the parts, it's probably better than what they have on the SG550, which is a similar idea to keep dust out, but it's instead of a metal piece, it's on the SG550, it's a rubber gasket, like a two-piece skirt on the top side and the bottom side. So if I have to pick one, I would pick what they have for the not FAL, FNC. Something I want to mention as well is the noise of the FNC. It's how should I explain? It's very rough. It's a rough gun, pretty crude gun. After if you look at all the welds and everything on the selector for the gas regulator here, all the welds, all the machining marks, and I'm sure the internals are not exactly aligned that well, but I like it. When you shoot it, it has all that metallic noise. It's pretty cool. I kind of like it. I do find it more enjoyable to maybe listen to in a way compared to my SG550, which is just in a way a little bit too smooth. So I also brought out my SG550. In this case, this is a civilian version. This is actually marked PE90. The SG550 and the FNC. Of course, this video is about FNC, but I want to quickly mention this on the SG550. Both of them, of course, AK inspired operation, long stroke piston, and 556. Something I want to mention on, I kind of touched on earlier, just the SG550, it's known for being very accurate, very precise, well-made, Swiss watch quality, you know, sub MOA all day. That's not the case. As rough as the FNC is in overall construction and everything, just the feel of it, it feels inaccurate. And this one, SG550, feels very accurate, but that's not the case. I've done in-depth studies of both of these, accuracy-wise. This is not as accurate as the FNC. FNC is actually capable of 1.3 to 1.5 MOA with iron sights. I don't have a good mounting system for the scope for the FNC, so that the scope rail I have, the 1913, it wobbles around. But with the irons, I was doing 1.3 to 1.5. I think I do have a video. Yeah, I do have an accuracy study on the FNC. You can go check it out. I post actual 10-round groups at 100-yard multiples. And the SG550, it's about 1.75. Well, 1.7-ish to maybe 2. I really wish it could be more accurate because of all the sort of hype around this one. It is my second favorite gun. FNC is not even my top 5. Subjective and objective reasons, but yeah, I just want to be objective about what I've observed. The performance, it's not what you would expect from some of the super high quality, well-constructed, Swiss elf-made, bazillion dollar, folded 1,000 time, super high quality guns like this one. It's not that accurate. So at least let's take a few shots with the PE90 SG550. Okay, so recoil immediately. I do notice the 550 here. It's way softer than FNC. Although FNC, it's pretty pleasant, quite pleasant overall. So the trigger is it's also better on the SG550. It's lighter, and it's a pretty nice two-stage, adjustable two-stage. In terms of where you want the wall to be, it's yeah, pretty much. There's a screw here you can adjust. Might not be able to see that, but you have to take the pistol grip off. There's a locking nut inside the grip, and then you have to screw in on both sides. So, coupled magazine. pretty sweet. Still a really nice gun. Okay, back to the FNC. Let's talk about the controls. So this is AK inspired long stroke, reciprocating charging handle. Pretty good charging handle. It's textured and rounded and protrudes far enough for me to grab onto. The trigger is pretty bad. This is a single stage trigger. It's heavy. It's really heavy. Got a lot of creep before you can feel the wall. There's a it is unloaded. Unloaded, just a loaded mag, but unloaded chamber. The trigger is one of the worst, in my opinion. It's a single stage, a lot of creep before the break. And it's heavy. I have a hard time shooting this one in rapid fire. So not shielded mag release, as you can see. Not that big of a deal, I don't think. Maybe it is. I do notice the position of the mag release. It's not exactly where you would find on ARs. On ARs, you can pretty much, it's right in front of the trigger guard almost. It's more natural to me. But this one, I do notice it's slightly shifted upward. So you do have to, as you have, when you're doing low ready or whatever you're ready to shoot, but finger off the trigger, you don't have your finger on the mag release. So I think I can see it being safer to have this design, so you don't drop your mag unintentionally, or accident happens. And let's talk about the other side. We have AR-like safety. It's not 90 degrees, but it might be hard to illustrate. I'm holding this wrong-handed. I'm right-handed, using my left hand, but you can probably tell this safety here, it's kind of too far forward, so I have a hard time using this without breaking my grip. So that's the grip. I cannot really reach that far, and it's not just me. A lot of my friends who's taller than me with bigger hands, they also struggle with this. So not exactly the best design. Rear sight, it's 250 meters, two position, 250 meters and 400 meters. The peephole on this one, on the FNC, it's rather small. So during rapid fire, I do have a hard time keeping my vision on the target. So on the folding stock here, it's quite like a FAL, except that there is a locking lever here. It's not a button. You do have to pull it to the side like that. There's a latch there. Not sure if you can see that even. Maybe. You have to push the lever out. Push it this way, and then you can fold it. It's kind of tough, but once you do that, you can push down on the folding stock and then fold it. It does shoot with the stock folded. On the FNC, it's kind of clever. They have an adjustable gas regulator on top and towards the rear of the handguard. So there's two positions. Right now this is standard, and you just flip it over on the other side for adverse condition. You might be able to see this. Over here there's two lines, which you can sort of tell here. And on the other side, just one line for low gas or standard gas setting. And over here is two for more gas. And on top of the receiver here, you might notice there's a cutout here and a taper or a cut here on the rear side. That's for you to mount aftermarket accessories for scopes and whatnot. You can find 1913 rails for this, so you can get some optic or red dot scopes and whatnot. Towards the front side block, this is for grenade launching, rifle grenades, to shut the gas system off. And then I honestly don't know how to use that, but I imagine you have that as a rear sight, and you just line it up with the grenade, the tip of the grenade probably. Not sure how to do that. I don't have a practice grenade or anything. And towards the front, we have a cutout here for bipod and whatnot, sling swivel. And this being a civilian rifle, this one does lack the, usually on the military rifles, you'll see a bayonet mounting block here with the lug. This one lacks that. And in my opinion, I do kind of prefer the look of this better without the bayonet lug, but it's not mil correct, so I might die in the streets. And in the front here, we have a compensator. Yeah, it's a compensator, and which it's very similar to what you might find on some FALs. It's pretty much the same design. And you have a rifle grenade seal ring here. Let's set it to standard gas. Gotta say, I don't really feel the difference on the recoil. I thought it would be way harder on the recoil, but I don't really feel that. Okay, going to adverse. Maybe 10% difference. Check out that smoke. So that was 4 magazines, 120 rounds. Something on the FNC I kind of like. It's the handguard design. You might be able to tell. This is a polymer piece on the actual part you hold, and the rest of the handguard is more of a perforated steel, stamped steel, kind of a wrap, inner part to the handguard. It's a 2-piece polymer, and the main piece that actually touch the gas block is stamped steel. So I don't feel the heat coming out from the handguard, so it's very effective. 120 rounds. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Something else I want to mention on the FNC, the length of pole is freakishly long, in my opinion. This is a standard rifle, of course, not a bullpup. Typically on bullpup, you'll have a longer length of pull to accommodate obviously the magazine and the operation length required for the carrier and all that. This is a standard rifle, and the length of pull from the trigger to the butt pad, it's almost 15 inches. My AUG is 15 and a quarter, so on a standard rifle, you're already approaching bullpup length of pull, which, I mean, it's comfortable. It is comfortable. Sometimes I'm not used to that, so when doing drills, when doing low ready, something like this, I do have to pull out, push out the rifle more before I can shoulder it like that. So similar with high port, I do have to push out and then back in. And on my M16A1 or M16A2 or SCAR, with of course a collapsible, adjustable length of pull, not much of a problem. When I do kind of prefer a slightly shorter length of pull, just because of more maneuverable. It's easier for me to get around if I'm doing VTAC drills. So just a little slight gripe on the FNC. So you probably saw the FNC doesn't lock back, so when you insert the magazine, a fully loaded USGI magazine, maybe it's better on Magpul, you do have to really tap in the magazine because you do have a carrier on top of the spring from the magazine. You do have to slam it in, make sure it's seated. It's a lot easier to seat a magazine if it has a last round bolt hole open. So that's I would say that's something to consider. Download your magazine to 25 rounds, 28 rounds maybe if you run an FNC. Just something to think about.